Hello students, let us begin our second part of this chapter, and the title of the second part is The Black Aeroplane, written by Frederick Forsyth. In this chapter, in this part of the story, the lesson Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth, it reflects on how one's judgment gets distorted due to fantasizing and how it creates problems. In this chapter, the narrator is a pilot who is so eager to meet his family and have a good breakfast that he takes the wrong decision of facing the storm instead of doing the right thing. Miraculously, he somehow manages to escape with the help of a mysterious aeroplane. So, in the beginning of this chapter, a writer asks us a question that a pilot is lost in storm clouds. Does he arrive safe? And who helps him? To know this question's answer, we have to go through this chapter. So let us begin the story. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. So in this line, it was night time when the sky was clear and the stars could be seen twinkling. The pilot felt peace in being above a country that had fallen asleep while he was flying over France to England. It was 1:30 in the morning and he was fantasizing about holidaying with his family. Now next paragraph. I should call Paris Control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I am on my way to England. Over. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS-088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS-088, over. Here in these lines, when the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris control person about its presence and for instructions. At that time, lights from the Paris city were blaring at him. He informed the control agency, to which they replied with further instructions on directions. The control room at Paris instructed him to turn 12 degrees towards the west. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. I will be in time for breakfast, I thought, a good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. In this line, compass, it means it is an instrument for telling direction. So after receiving the instructions, the pilot geared up and followed them while putting the last fuel tank into operation. All this time he was dreaming about his time with his family, and then he started thinking about having a satisfactory breakfast at the destination point. He was calm as everything was going as planned. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds, storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like a black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them to the north or south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. I will take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Now the plane had crossed Paris when he started seeing clouds in the sky. The presence of clouds made it unsafe to travel by air because there were chances of a storm. They were so huge and dark that the pilot compared them with black mountains. He knew he couldn't pass them as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that was left in the last tank. The right decision would have been to fly back to Paris safely, but the pilot's decision making was clouded by his wish to meet his family. He so desperately wanted to be with his family and have that English breakfast he had been dreaming of all day that he took the risk of not going back. Thus, he headed the plane right into the storm. Now, next paragraph. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. I couldn't believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. In these lines, it was so dark because of the storm that nothing was visible outside the plane. He started losing control of the aeroplane. The compass and other instruments had also stopped working because of the bad weather. He became helpless now. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. "Follow me," he was saying. "Follow me. He knows that I am lost," I thought. He's trying to help me. Now, he tried calling the Paris Control Agency who had helped him earlier but couldn't connect because of the bad weather. In the midst of nowhere, when everything failed, he saw a ray of hope. When he saw another aeroplane, he felt relieved when he saw another pilot's face and willingness to help him escape the storm. He thought to himself that the other pilot is very kind as he knew that they were lost and was trying to help him. Now, next lines. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now, there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. I was starting to feel frightened again, but then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw 2 long straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. Here, runway, it means a strip of hard ground along which aircraft take off and land. Frightened, it means terrified or feeling afraid. Followed, it means chased. Obedient, it means one who obeys. Glad, it means happy. In these lines, the other pilot took his plane ahead of the lost aeroplane to make it easier for them to follow, while the author followed him like an obedient child. He was also panicking because there was very less amount of fuel left. It was only then that he started coming out of the storm and could see the runway to land his plane safely. When he turned to thank the other pilot, he realized that the plane that helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. Now, next lines. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in the storm? No other aeroplane were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. So who helped me to arrive there safely without a compass or a radio and without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane flying in the storm without lights? Here, radar, it means a system of detecting the presence, directions, distance and speed of aircraft, ships and other objects by sending out pulses of radio waves which are reflected off the object back to the source. And strangely, it means in a strange manner. Here the author, who is a pilot, did not know where he had landed but was not afraid of leaving his plane unattended. He headed straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot. To his utmost surprise, the lady informed him that there was no other plane in the sky except his because of the bad weather. He is left astonished with a lot of questions unanswered in his mind. So it is mysterious black aeroplane who helped him in the storm. So our chapter second part, the black aeroplane, is completed over here. Thank you.